Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Coach Laddiser, way back in the day, I played at De La Salle way back in the day, and he said, you build trust through players by teaching them something. And that always resonated with me more than anything else.
We are back for another episode of our 2024 National Coach of the Week series presented by Modern Football Technology. Our Week 2 Coach of the Week is Patrick Walsh, head coach at Serra High School in California. Since taking over as the head coach of Serra's football program in 2001 at just 26 years old, Patrick Walsh has transformed the Padres into a powerhouse. With 196 wins, he's the school's all-time winningest coach. Under his leadership, Serra has captured numerous championships, including a 2017 CIF State title and 6 appearances in the California State Championship in the past 7 years. He was named the California State Coach of the Year in 2020 and 21, and he's been a driving force helping Serra to 10 WCAL championships and countless school records. This past week, Coach Walsh led the Padres to a dramatic win over number 23 in the nation, Folsom High School. He joins us on the podcast to share his coaching philosophy of continuous improvement over winning. He introduces an objective grading system for player performance and how his system informs practice preparation. He shares his game goals and how those translate to winning. And he talks about technology, specifically drones, and incorporating analytics for real-time decision-making during games. Stay tuned for Winning Edge takeaways following the interview. Our National Coach of the Week is presented by Modern Football Technology. Modern Football allows you to do more with your data while helping you create workflows that will allow you to be more efficient with your time. The most powerful use is the real-time game analytics that allow you to make the best calls on offense or defense during the game. A lot of coaches talk about how they love this technology, and we have Cal Bears Director of Technology, Matt Fox, sharing his thoughts on modern football technology.
I would recommend modern football technology to any program at any level. One of the main reasons is if any program is interested in acquiring data, storing data, managing their data, modern football technology can help them do that. Whether you're in the NFL or high school or college, every team has to manage their data.
It's not too late for you and your staff to use this powerful tool. It's out of the box ready, and modern football technology can get you up and running quickly. We're back for our Coach of the Week series, and I'm excited to have our guest here today from California and Serra High School. Our Coach of the Week is Patrick Walsh. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a big win this week, and congratulations for being our Coach of the Week.
Oh, thanks a lot, Keith. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the honor.
Coach, we're going to focus on the process today and talk about some of those things that you guys do that result in the wins. And, you know, the idea of the old Bill Walsh, the score takes care of itself. So that's going to be the focus today. And we'd love to hear about your approach to it and your philosophy behind it before we dig into some specifics.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just have always believed that the scoreboard can be a great liar. Whether you win or lose, it can just really throw off the whole perspective and process of doing the right things day in and day out. And although we won the game and it was in stunning fashion, and I met the team yesterday on Labor Day, we of course labor on Labor Day, wanted to just kind of remind them about what we're really all about. The excitement of the game was great. You know, beating the top ranked team in the country is always fantastic, but what did our grades and what did our goals say? And that's really what I'm hopeful through this conversation other coaches listening across the country can pick up on and hopefully add or put into their program to make them better.
Would love to dig into your grading system. I've seen it done a lot of different ways. And, you know, again, for you, it's keeping that focus on the process. So what does your grading system look like for your players?
So I have assistant coaches that are responsible for their position groups. They grade each play so we can get right into the nitty-gritty of exactly how kids, either made their play or did not make their play. And we use a very, very simple system. This is not rocket science, and I want it to be simple so everybody can understand it's efficient and it's clean and it's easy to add up over the course of the game. So we either give a 1 or a 0 for the guys on their play. They either make their play or they don't make their play. And a 75% grade is a decent grade, but we want our kids to grade out 80% or better in our system. So we don't give 2s for exceptional plays. We don't give -1s. We don't do any of that stuff. You either do your job or you don't. Keep it very simple. Keep it very, very black and white. And that's been our grading system we've been using for years. So in this game, with basically 18 new starters, it was pretty astonishing to me that our team grade collectively with all the positions from everyone that played graded at an 80% for the entire game. Our defense graded 84%, and our offense graded out at 76%. We also do it by position group. So our Mike and our Will, they graded at an 82%. Our back end graded at an 82%. And I don't want to get too far deep into it, but our offensive line graded at 80.4%. Our quarterback graded at 77%. So all these things, it's astonishing to me that some teams don't grade their players. It's almost like going to history class, going to school, taking this massive test everyone's all excited about, and then not grading it. Football is the same way for us. It's a way to teach the game, and this is the system that we've believed in for years.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you have to grade, you have to give that feedback. Regardless of the system that you have, I think it's important that you have one and your kids understand it, and that those numbers translate to leading you back to the process, right? So, you get those grades, you look at the grades for the week. Now, how does that translate into the next week of practice?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, from the Hawks view of our coaching staff on whether the kids made their play or not, we can find deficiencies, really deep deficiencies, independent of the scoreboard, on things that we need to improve on. And then those things are improved upon, based on the game plan for now, De La Salle this week. We're right back at it. What are the things that we need to do from the Folsom game to make us more in a position to do our jobs more efficiently against De La Salle? So our game plans and what we do and the drills that we incorporate the next week are in a direct relationship to how we graded or how we scored on that test the week before against Folsom.
Because looking at, you said that Hawks view, and that's actually something you have. You guys use drones to film everything. And I see more and more schools using it. I'm on some schools' huddles, and, I look at their film for them. And, this week was drone view, and it was phenomenal. I love it. It reminds me of, when I coached at BW, we would go down the street to the Browns facility and send our guys up into the rafters when we were inside, and it gave you that exact view. And I'll tell you, looking down on things, you really don't need to see the other views. You can see everything there. Would love to hear about how you guys use it and why it's so good for you.
Yeah, so drone technology has really, really come down and made it a reasonable purchase for any high school football program across the country. We bought a drone. I think it's $400, maybe $600 at the most. We have a student manager. We call our meerkats. We call our student managers meerkats at Serra. We have one of our meerkats who's trained to fly the drone. He's a student. He puts the thing up for our team periods, for our 7-on-7 periods, and we upload that film every single night to Huddle so the kids can review it. And also our position coaches watch practice film every single night and put notes on the Huddle and then share the notes back to the kids. And I know a lot of programs that don't film practice at all. And our freshman team, we don't allow them to use the drone. So our legendary coach, Ken Peralta, he gets on a ladder, uses an iPhone or an iPad, uploads it to Huddle. There's really no excuse, is my point.
Yeah.
And for programs that really want to be detail oriented and programs that really want to invest in the process, well, each step of the way needs to be basically recorded, filmed, cataloged, reviewed, so that, if we are to win a 1-point game, which we did the other night, like any little minor detail may be the difference in the game, right or wrong. Filming practice, for us from a drone every single day is an absolutely mandatory thing in our program.
You know, when I look at just all the technology that's going into the game now, we had, you know, really this past weekend, the start of college football, we saw that in action. You know, well, I think most of them are using the Microsoft Surface tablet at the higher level, but the tablets on the sideline, we have the in-helmet communications, you know, talking about drones at practice. I mean, more and more, the technology, I think, is phenomenal. But the most important thing you picked out there was that it's those details now that you're able to find, that you don't have to get lost in, wow, we got all this technology, I don't know how to use it, but just use it to be better than you were without it.
Correct. Yes, and having a program where, as me as the head coach, holds the assistant coaches accountable to actually spend the time to watch and review and make their players better. Coach Laddiser, way back in the day, I played at De La Salle way back in the day, and he said, you build trust through players by teaching them something. And that always resonated with me more than anything else. You don't build trust by chest bumping or playing video games with them or hanging out with them. And that's all cool, and building relationships are important, but, you know, teaching, having a professor's mindset when you're teaching defensive line play, and here's where you stepped wrong in practice on Wednesday. Here's what I'm trying to give you. That builds trust between the coaches and the players that ultimately leads to trust on Friday night when it counts the most.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, all those other things are important. You obviously want to put yourself in a place, you know, by trying to build that relationship, which starts with some of those surface level things. But I think that's exactly it. When we look at coaching, you know, we're there to transform our young men, both on and off the field, right? Stuff that hopefully is going to live with them beyond the game. But
right.
That's a big part of this. And I think, you know, it's great you point that out right there, that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about bigger picture things here, goals. And I know you mentioned to me that you have a goal system. I'd love to hear about that and share that with our listeners.
You know, I've been to college, you know, campuses where there's 30 goals on O, 30 on defense, and all these metrics that are certainly necessary to follow and track. And, you know, frankly, what I've learned over the course of my career is I just don't have time for that. I don't have time. I don't have a GA. Like there's only so many heads in the office I can actually do that sort of work. So we've developed a 12 goal system where we have 4 on offense, 4 on defense, and 4 on special teams. And our goal each week is to be 9 of 12. If we can be 3 on O, 3 on defense, 3 on special teams, 9 of 12 is a fantastic goal range. And I'd like to share these goals with you guys right now. On offense, we have 1.7 first downs per drive. The concept there is to drive the ball. If you pick up, you know, if you're averaging, you know, over 1.5 first downs, it's closer to 2. This is a number that we developed over the 20 years I've been at Serra. But if we're averaging over 1.7 first downs per drive, we're driving the ball enough, and we're driving it well enough to win the game or at least flip field position. We had 8 drives for 18 first downs, which was 2.3 average first downs per drive, we got that goal on Friday night. 2 turnovers or less. This sounds like a lot, but we used to be an option school. We ran the kind of the Army, Air Force option. I think this probably could be 1 or less. We aren't perfect. Any 1 turnover is disaster, but this has been developed over time. So 2 turnovers or less is what our goal is at Serra. And Friday night we had 0. Score 75% when inside the 25-yard line. Scoring is obviously a field goal or a touchdown. We were 4 for 5 for 80%, so we got that goal. We did miss 1 field goal. And then 12% rule. I got this from Ralph Friedgen when he was at Maryland. This is one of my favorites. This is an efficiency rule. So you take any fumbles, sacks, penalties. When I say any fumbles, any ball that hits the ground is counted as a fumble, but not a turnover if you don't lose it, obviously. So any fumbles, sacks, penalties, drops, and interceptions divided by total plays. We wanted to drive the ball and keep the ball out of the hands of this 5-star quarterback, Ryder Lyons. He's a fantastic football player. He's unbelievable. And we had 67 plays, which is, you know, we want to get into 70, which is great. And we were at 9% efficiency for the night, which is good. So we were 4 for 4 on offense. Defense, 17 points or less. We gave up 21. Some short fields, a great team. That happens. 17 has been our magic number. We play great teams. If we can score 21 and they have 17, one on the scoreboard take care of itself. 3 3-and-outs. We want 3 3-and-outs per night. We only had 2, so we didn't get that goal. And then we do a chaos. The opposite of efficiency would be chaos. So our defense wants 20% chaos, which would be we stem a lot. So if we stem and they jump, then that's a category we have. Any fumble, sacks, interceptions, pass deflections, TFL, and penalties greater than 10. So, someone pushes us and we get a 15-yard penalty, we don't fight back, we get that. A holding call because we set the edge, then that's a penalty greater than 10. And we do that divide that by total plays, and that was at 21%, so we got that goal. And then 2 takeaways or more is our goal on defense. Special teams, 75% kickoff at 25 or a yard line or less. We got that goal. That was 3 for 3. Our average net punt, we want 32.5 yards. We did not get that goal. KOR average start, we want the 35-yard line. We only got to the 16 with a turnover. That was terrible. Didn't get that goal. No turnovers, missed PATs or field goal is category number 4. We were 1 for 2 on field goals. We missed a PAT, and we fumbled the ball, so we almost lost the game on special teams. But ironically, we got an onside kick and hit a game-winning field goal to win it. So special teams almost lost it for us, but also was a deciding factor in the game. So overall, we were 1 for 4, 2 for 4, and 4 for 4. So we were 7 of 12 on the night. I firmly believe in these. I think I'm happy to give these goals to any other program that's interested, and it's been a great measuring stick with the grading system that we have that keeps us away from the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think understanding those numbers you need, both for the individuals, your units, your position groups, and for the team overall, is very important to what you do with those. And you understand, hey, we've boiled it down to these things. This is how we do it, and this is what it means to us. And we are in an era of data and analytics, and that's becoming a big part of the game too. But understanding what the important things are is what's going to get you those wins. I know the data and analytics are something your staff started to get into.
Yep.
There's in-game analytics and starting to look at those too. How much of you guys really dove into that and are using it as part of what you do in-game?
Well, we just started last week, and so it's in the beginning. It's in the nascent kind of form of what we're doing with it. You have to upgrade your mental capacity during the games to process information quickly. And that's why, with Christian's technology, it's really kind of helped us. It's helping us in game, particularly on defense, understanding what's hurting us, offense, what's helping us, and being able to go back to plays. We want to avoid that Saturday morning, man, I only called pin and pull once, and I should have called it 15 times. Like, what am I doing? Or I never made that adjustment to their unbalanced front, and they're running this play. And just avoiding those things and being on top of it is what the goal is there with our in-game analytics that we've adopted this year for our program. And I just want to make a shout out to all those high school football coaches out there that are trying to get better, and we are impacting lives one student athlete at a time. And it's easy to say that in the off season, but really during the season is when it really counts. Everything we say to impressionable 16, 17, 18-year-old kids could last a lifetime. I still remember, thankfully, I had, Coach Bob Laddiser, who was 399 wins, Hall of Famer. The things he told me shaped my life for the better. And sadly, I've heard stories the other way with other coaches, and we all need to be mindful of that as we move forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely a powerful part of what we do. We'd love to have you back here in this off season, but I appreciate you being here on the podcast, and good luck the rest of the way to you and the Padres.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Keith.
Here are Winning Edge takeaways and ideas for implementation. 1. Clearly define success for your players and staff. Coach Walsh has an established grading system which translates to how they plan each week. They define their game goals and what should lead to success in winning on game day if those goals are achieved. These simple systems help them be great teachers and coaches of the game. And 2, stay on top of developing technology and how it can help you and your staff in the game. Coach Walsh is constantly evolving with the technology, whether that's the use of drones to film practice and games or in-game analytics for better decision-making and play calling. The technology doesn't need to overwhelm you or your staff. It should be used for you to find ways to do what you already do, but to do it better and more efficiently. We're very thankful to you as our listeners. So if you are enjoying the podcast, please go to your favorite app and rate and review. It helps other coaches find the podcast and helps our game. Be sure to check out our sponsors. They're listed in the show notes and in the 10% Toolkit. These are companies that we believe in, and they also provide some great benefits to you as the listener, so check those out in the 10% Toolkit. The list is in the show notes. Follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com and follow us on X at Coach K. Grabowski.